Тренинговый центр Лилии Габдуллиной представляет.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Gray, and I'm the author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and 25 other books. One of my books is How to Get What You Want and Want What You Have. And it teaches us how to achieve our goals, but also be happy right now with what we have. And this is a secret of happiness. And I'll be exploring these ideas in my journey to Russia to teach my first seminar in Russia. And I'm very excited about coming. And I'm going to answer 6 questions that I've been asked to give you an idea of what I'll be talking about. So the first question is, what is important for a person to feel happy? Well, certainly we experience happiness when we're expecting to get what we want. If I could promise you that tomorrow I would give you something, $1 million, here's a check for $1 million, and you believe that it was true, you would be so happy and excited to get that check even before you got it, because you believe that you're in the process of getting what you want. So no matter what you want, when you believe that you're in the process of getting what you want, you feel happy. However, many of the things we want are not really what we really need. So it's important that we're able to feel what our true needs are and then want that. One of the greatest sources of dissatisfaction and unhappiness is people make things that are important, make things that are more important than they are, and things that are really important, they don't make those things important. So let me give an example of that. Some people think if I just had this new car, if I just had this money, then that would make me happy. And if you really need that money, it does make you happy for a while. But if you already have plenty of money and you're wanting more money, it makes you happy for a moment, and then you find you're not happy at all with what you have. And you can see this in the magazines and all the troubles and the problems that very, very wealthy people have. I'm not saying that every wealthy person is unhappy, but so many very wealthy people who have lots of money are very dissatisfied people. They're not happy. So we learn from that money alone does not make us happy. But if we need money, getting money makes us happy. If we need love, then getting love makes us happy. And quite often we make getting money more important than fulfilling our need for love. And love is something that we can learn to create in our lives. We have to learn to love ourselves. That makes us happy. And learn to love others, to get the love from others, to get support from others is a major cause of happiness. And that's why I talk so much about relationships today. I see so many people who are depressed and unhappy. And when I teach them the relationship skills in marriage or when they're single, with their friends, with their family, with better communication skills, we feel more love and support. And with love and support, we're getting the most important need satisfied. And happiness comes from that. So the second question, what has changed in the definition of a happy person since ancient times? How is a modern person's happiness different? Well, that's a great question because it has changed. Historically, men and women were in a partnership in their relationship, in their marriage. Men and women were in a partnership where men did certain things and women did certain things in order to survive. Think about it for a moment. If a woman is pregnant and they didn't have birth control, so women were pregnant most of their lives, having a baby and then having another baby and having another baby, and many of the babies would die, so they keep having babies. In that situation where she's pregnant and feeding a baby, she's very much dependent on a man to go out and earn a living, to protect her, to provide for her, and so forth. And that was our historical relationship. It was a world where our primary need was survival. Now, when I was growing up, my dad had a good job. My mother had 7 children. And they were very happy because what a woman needed at that time was someone to provide for her. But as soon as women move into another generation where women can provide for themselves, where women are not pregnant all the time, where women have birth control, where women have choice. Suddenly a woman can go out and earn her own living. Then what does she need a man for? And if you don't feel your need, then when you get something, it doesn't make you happy. We have to feel a need. It has to be a legitimate need. And then fulfilling that need will make us happy. So in order for people to be happy today, we have to learn new skills in our relationships, which are based upon new needs in our relationship. Men have a new need as well. When women are out there making a living, making as much money as men, supporting themselves, a man thinks, what's my job? Why would a woman need me? What can I do for her? And men don't understand there's a whole new level of relationship skills to provide women with their emotional needs. Now, that doesn't mean become like a girlfriend. It means to be more like a man with the wisdom of what are women needing today to be happy. And women need to learn, well, why do I need a man? Well, now you'll learn your new needs, the needs for romance, the needs for intimacy, the needs for closeness, the needs for understanding, the needs for affection, the needs for companionship, to feel those needs, but more importantly, to identify them and learn how to communicate that to a man in a language that a man can understand, that a man won't feel defensive about, that man won't feel criticized. A man won't feel you're trying to change him, complaining about him. So we have to have a new job description so we learn how to support each other's needs. Many years ago, a famous psychologist wrote that as we evolve, our needs change. First, it's need for survival, then our need for security, and then comes the need for intimacy and the need for accomplishment and achievement. These are different needs that become more important as we become more evolved. And that's what's happened today in the modern world. Yet we haven't learned the skills of finding that happiness and the quality of our relationships. So what we see is we have a greater potential to be happy today, but because people don't know the skills that I teach, there's greater dissatisfaction because they're feeling a new need for intimacy, for love, for romance, for closeness, for authenticity, for openness, but they don't know how to accomplish that in a relationship. And that's what I teach people to do. And that's why I've been married now 30 years, very, very happy. I have 3 daughters and their families all come visit me every week. I have my grandchildren. They love me. We communicate. We're family. We're together. I have a thriving business because what I've also seen is that you can be more successful in terms of making money as well when you're coming from a place of dedication and passion. And that's what I have in my marriage, and I have a happiness, and people are naturally drawn to happiness. Third question. Have you ever been happy being on your own? If yes, tell about these moments. Well, that's a great question for me because I think that's the secret of my success. It's the secret of the success of my marriage. It's an underlying principle in my work. I was a celibate monk for 9 years before I married my wife. So think about that. For 9 years, I had no relations with women. I was primarily in a relationship with God, with spirit, with meditation, with personal growth, with transformation. And I had no relationships with women. My relationship was with myself and my maker. And that was a beautiful time in my life. I was very, very happy and fulfilled. I learned, not always, I learned how to find the happiness within. I teach people that technique as well, because that is the foundation for being fulfilled in a relationship. That's how I came up with the messages in Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. You see, most people, when they're looking at relationship problems, they say, well, who's right and who's wrong? It's like a judge. But if we want to solve the problem, we have to go to a higher level and take away right and wrong and go to a higher level of evaluation. Evaluation means what is valuable, what is not valuable, what works, what doesn't work. This takes us out of the level of judgment, right, wrong, punishment, good, bad, and take it to a higher level of consciousness, which is evaluation and what works and why is a person that way. An inquiry into what do they need, what do they value, and what do you value, and how do you communicate that? And that's so very, very important because men and women value different things, and I point that out. And they value similar things too. We all want love, but it shows up differently. Quite often women want more affection. They want more empathy. They want more conversation. Often what men want is more independence. Don't tell me what to do. Don't give me advice. It's like we have to understand where our different sensitivities are so we can support each other. But long before that, how can you support someone else if you can't find the happiness inside yourself? So I learned to be happy on my own, but my younger brother was suicidal. My younger brother had bipolar. So I went back to California when I was 28 years old to study psychology, hoping to heal him, hoping to help him. And during that time, I learned psychology, I became a counselor, and I developed my whole message of counseling and relationship from a different perspective. Not from a perspective of what's right and what's wrong, but a non-judgmental perspective which says, well, why would women be this way? And why are men this way? And not making anybody right or wrong, but what works. And based upon that, I was able to come up with this message of understanding in a positive way with no judgment, men and women, and how we can bring out the best of them or the worst of them. Because clearly, when we don't know how to communicate, we bring out the worst in someone and we bring out the worst in ourselves. And every person has the potential to be amazing or awful. And what I do is help us bring out the best. So yes, through my own practice, I learned how to be happy alone. And what I'll teach in my class is the hormones of happiness for women are different from the hormones of happiness in men. Primarily, when men get messages that stimulate the hormone testosterone, men are happy, men are fulfilled, men are motivated, men are energetic, men are considerate. The best qualities of men come out when their testosterone levels are higher, or at least normal, instead of dropping low. For women, they're happiest when a hormone called oxytocin is rising in their body. When they have oxytocin, it lowers their stress and they can feel more loving and more fulfilled and more happy. Ultimately, messages of success raise testosterone and messages of love raise oxytocin. And we learn practical skills to communicate those messages. You have a foundation of inner happiness and outer happiness and having a wonderful relationship. Ultimately, my message is you can't make another person happy. That's an inside job. But we can be in a relationship, and together we can make each other happier. I can't take her all the way. She has to go to here. I can take her higher and she can go alone. Likewise, I can be fulfilled in my life, but I have to become happier. I need to be in relationship. I have to get in touch with a true human need, which is the need for intimacy, the need for caring, the need for sharing, and those things. Question number 4 is an excellent question. In your opinion, how is it possible to make another person happy? Or have you managed to do it? And as I just mentioned, you can't make another person happy, but you can make them happier by understanding what their emotional needs are. And they're often different from your own. So we don't intuitively understand what will make another person happy. It's not always the same thing that would make us happy. And by understanding those differences, we have the key to making our partners happier. But we can never make them happy. That is an inside job. That's why sometimes in the beginning relationships have so much energy and excitement and fulfillment, because a brain chemical called dopamine is being produced. And dopamine gets produced when somebody when a situation is new, when someone is different, when there's challenge, when there's exploration, like going on a vacation where you've never been before. I'll be coming to Russia and I've never been before. So I'm looking at the different magazines to see what I want to see. And it'll be very exciting. It'll be very pleasurable because you're seeing something new and different. Whenever you experience new and different, naturally these brain chemical, dopamine, which is the pleasure brain chemical, gets stimulated. But after a while in a relationship, there is no newness. Your partner's the same person every day for 30 years. I've been married 30 years. I've been dating her 7 years before that. So this is a long time, more than half my life. So why is it new and exciting? Well, it still is new and exciting because we do things to create that. We have the skills of vulnerability, of authenticity. And people are not records that don't change and repeat every day, every day. People are growing and changing. We are alive as long as we can be authentic and feel safe to express who we are. But that requires having the knowledge to express who we are in a language, in a way that doesn't offend our partners, that doesn't upset our partners. And that's something that we can learn. That way we can thrive in our relationships. So our next question, number 5, do you suppose happiness depends upon being wealthy? I mentioned that before. As long as you have a need for money, a legitimate need for money, then getting money makes you happy. The expectation of money makes you happy. Oh, I'm going to get money. I'm going to get rich. That's great. All right. So as soon as your needs are being met, it doesn't make you that much happier, and it doesn't even make you happy because there's other needs as well. You might feel like, I want a new car. You get a new car. It's so exciting to have a new car. But then after you have that met, are you also meeting other needs, like the need for intimacy, the need for love, the need to feel successful, the need to make a difference in the world, the need to connect with the divine, the need to find your purpose in this world, to align yourself with your spirit, to express your unique gifts, to learn, to educate, have friends. These are all different needs that human beings have. In a sense, it's like having different vitamins. You know, we need vitamin C, an antioxidant. We need vitamin E. Vitamin C activates vitamin E. We need to have vitamin D. It activates over 2,000 different genes in the body. You can't have an immune system and protect yourself without vitamin D. You have 7 different vitamin Bs. B vitamins are necessary to make your brain chemicals. They're necessary to relax your adrenal glands. So these are just vitamins. Then we have other nutrients that we require. So these are needs that we have. And let's say you have everything that you need except you don't have no vitamin C. Well, you'll get terribly sick. You'll get scurvy. It'll be horrible. So all kinds of sicknesses, just missing one vitamin. So intimacy is only one need. Money is only one need. We have many, many needs. And when you get one need that you're missing, you feel good for a while. But then you have to have other needs and other needs that will emerge that we have to meet. So yes, money and wealth can make you happy, but then you have to meet your other needs. And if you don't, you get trapped into thinking, I have to have more and more and more. When is enough enough? Very few people I know, and of course I have one perspective because I help people in troubled relationships, but it seems like the wealthier people become, the more family troubles they have. Not to say other people don't have family troubles as well, but money doesn't solve all problems. And our last question, what can you recommend those who are in trouble or depressed to overcome this condition? Well, I've spent a life studying this. As I mentioned before, my brother had many, many problems like this, and that's why I went to study psychology. And I've helped thousands of people since who were depressed, who were unhappy, to teach them how to find the happiness in their life. And in every person's situation, it may be a little different that I have to instruct them. But the most important thing is to understand first the hormones of happiness, what your true needs are, how to get what you need. And if you're a woman, the answer is different than if you're a man. And that's what we'll explore at my amazing seminar that I'm so excited to bring this information to Russia. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for listening.